How's water intake linked to this? Surely if I limit their water intake, they won't have as many accidents.
Yeah, actually it's the opposite. So quite often we think as parents that if we get them to drink less, they won't wet as much, or they may even be drier overnight. But what ends up happening is your bladder's like a muscle, and we want it to really stretch and really empty. And I often tell kids, your bladder's like a balloon, and have you ever tried to blow up a balloon before? So the best thing is looking at good bladder habits in children, and that's actually having 5 to 6 evenly spaced drinks of water a day. And I tend to encourage kids to drink them in volume, so give your sibling a race to see how quickly you can drink your drink. What we're looking for a healthy bladder is, I often say to children, there's actually a really good book about when it's time to go, it's time to go. And it's really relatable to children, but also in the back of it, it's got a wee checker, and it helps them to identify what colour you would like your wees to be to know that you're drinking enough. So I often tell children, look for that really pale yellow colour, and if we get them to drink less during the day, it means it's more that dark yellow, and it's really concentrated, and that actually irritates and tickles the bladder, which will often result in them being more wet during the day or needing to go to the toilet more frequently than others.
On that note, before bed, recommendation having drinks before bed, if trying not to wet bed.
Yeah, once again, we definitely wouldn't recommend restricting fluids during the day. It's about looking at what you're drinking over the whole day, and the recommendation is having those 5 to 6 evenly spaced drinks with meals. So I would say breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea and dinner time. And what will happen then is you shouldn't need a lot of fluid before bed because you'll be well hydrated. What we're trying to avoid is making sure that if you don't drink enough during the day, that you then what we would call fluid load in the evening. So you get home maybe from school or preschool and drink the bulk of your fluid in the afternoons and evenings because you're really thirsty, and then your body's not going to be able to process what it needs to. So rule of thumb would be not to restrict fluids, but to make sure that you try and manage to have them evenly spaced throughout the day.
Yeah. And the wee chart there that you had with the wees, and I think there was little pictures of the poos. I can vouch that they actually have helped my daughter. My daughter, it sounds crass, but she loves to see what shape the poo is, and it's helping her. She wants to go to the toilet now.
Absolutely, and so we've created Good Bowel and Bladder Habits resource for children. This has got a range of information on it as to what is the daily recommended fluid intake for an age group. So for example, 4 to 8 year olds should be aiming to have around 1200 mils in a day. It talks about what are good daytime bladder habits, so that's looking at going to the toilet between 4 to 7 times a day to wee. And it also talks about what you've said with bowel motions. And I find with a lot of people that I work with, and myself, what is normal for bowel motions as well. So it's about looking at the type. So would be a type 4 to a type 5, soft like a snake and easy to pass as well. And you're right, kids do tend to find a fascination with this. And this is really important because with children with any daytime wetting or poo accidents that we may have, we would always recommend that they would do a 2-week bowel diary to help to identify what's happening for them.
Yeah, cool.